In this video, I'm going to show you how to make armor for your game. So we got our pistol right here, and this guy's got armor. I have it for players and for non-playing characters. I just put it on my non-playing character right here so I could do a demo. If I shoot this guy, there is a 70% reduction in damage. Boom! Let's take a look. I did a printout view. And here we go. Damage would have been 25. Adjusted damage is 7.5 with some round off. Brah, that's awesome. And then you could sell armor in your game. That's one more thing that'll make your game more interesting. I put an armor rating on this backpack too. It's pretty low. It's like 10%, I think. Straight. So what do we got? 25, because I don't have any variability in this pistol. I want a really, really simple pistol because I want this to be easy. And then adjusted is 22.5. So really, it's in the weapon. We're going to do some raycasting in the weapon, and then we're going to detect to see if it's armor or not, if it's an accessory, if it's a headshot. Look at this headshot. It's going to be double. Brah! Adjusted 50, right? So everything's in the raycast, and then we just put a rating on the armor. And we'll make a piece of armor too. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, in order to make our armor, we're going to need a weapon, an easy weapon to work with. This is the simple pistol that I did in many, many videos. Roblox keeps moderating it. I will put this link in the description, but if you can't get to it for whatever reason, you could go here, and I made this game copyable. In that case, you could just edit in Studio, open it up, and then it's going to be exactly what I'm going to have in the video. So either one of those will work. Either get the pistol, I'll put the link in the description, or this right here, I'll put the link in the description and copy it in case the pistol gets moderated for some reason. All right, that's cool. We're going to go over here. This is the shoot pistol video that I just showed you, the game that I just showed you that you could open up. I'm going to save this off as another game so I don't mess you up when I start modifying it. Maybe we should call it like armor or something. Hit the file. I'll do publish to Roblox as. Straight, and then let's call it, let's do create new game. I'll make this copyable too, and that way if you can't get it working, you can look at my stuff. I'll call this armor vid, like for the video, and then turn team create off, and I'll hit create. Now we got a new game, right? Cool, and I'll put the link in the description for this one too. Let's make our armor first. So I'm going to go to toolbox and then meshes under our creator store, right? We're going to get a mesh part, and let's call it, let's just search for armor, right? Ooh, that's the one that I did the demo with. This armor right here works pretty good. I'll drag that out. Nice. Let's make it another color. I can't hardly see any of it, right? So let's do this. Let's coal. All right, I don't know what's front and what's back. I'm going to assume this right here is front. So you guys know more than me about that. Just leave something in the description for in the comments for other people. So I need an accessory to put this mesh part in so that we can wear it, right? So we'll go workspace, hit the plus, accessory, and then I'm going to call this armor, right? Armor. Cool. And then I'm going to put that mesh part, the OK12 mesh part, into armor. I'm going to change the name of that to handle. All right. Now on the handle, we need an attachment, right? And that's going to attach our accessory to our character, but we need to name this attachment. Now, if you are following along from the game that I gave, you'll have that rig right in the description. But if you're not, you're doing this from scratch and you don't really know how to get a rig, just go to Avatar, Rig Builder, and you can pick any type of rig. If your game is R15, pick R15. I'll just go ahead and hit like my avatar, right? That's going to put a rig out in your game. We already have one, so I'm going to delete this. I just wanted you to know how to do it in case you didn't have the rig. I'll hit delete key. There we go. Now, the important part about that rig, here it is. We're going to open it up. We are going to look for the upper torso, right? Because that's where you'd put that flak jacket thing there, right? The flak jacket. Let's open up the upper torso, and you have choices of different attachments: body back attachment, body front attachment. I'll use the body front attachment, right? I need to copy this name exactly because if I spell it wrong, it's going to get messed up in my game. So I'm going to do a Control C to copy that. And then you go down here to the name too and do it that way if you want. Right. Now we're going to go back to our armor up here. And I'm going to rename that attachment to exactly body front attachment. Or if you use the back one, right, you do it body back attachment. But we're going to use the front. All right, now let's add the armor to this character, this rig, for some fitting. So we'll get the armor. We're going to pop them down here on the rig. Here we go. And it's kind of on there. Not really right, though, right? And if, oh, man, you know what? I'm going to go with this as the front right here. I know you guys are like, oh, man, you're such a boomer. You don't know. Let's do handle and then hit body front attachment. And then I'm going to go to home and then rotate. I'm going to rotate the attachment, which means whatever direction I move, the handle part, the actual armor part, is going to go in this opposite direction because I'm rotating the attachment. And it's going the other way. All right. I wanted to go the other way. I'll do Control Z. Boom. So I'm going to go this way. Cool. All right. We still need some more fitting, right? Let's go to our move. And then opposite direction, right? So I'm going to pull to the right here. That should work. And then maybe go down. Yeah. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Right? A little bigger. Let's go to scale. Hit the handle because we're not going to make the attachment bigger. We're going to make the handle bigger. That'll about do it. Oh no, that kind of looks like the back of the armor. These little switchy things for radios and stuff, I guess. Well, anyway, you know how to rotate it, right? It's not gonna matter for our video. You know how to do the positioning. I think I'll keep it like that. All right, let's save this off so that we don't mess things up. Publish to Roblox. Now let's add a little test script so that we can add this armor to our players as they enter the game and check out the fitting on the players. So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm not going to copy the armor and put it in server storage yet because I only want one copy of the armor while I'm working on it. So here is our server script service. If you copied this game that I showed you from the link in the description, you have this game manager, but some of you guys are doing this from scratch. So let's just add another script. This is just to test the armor out for wearing it. So I'll just put a script in there. I'll call this like armor test or something like that. Armor test. How about that? And you could just easily add that to game manager when you see what I'm going to be doing here, right? I want to get a copy of my armor. So I'll say local armor, and currently it's in the workspace on the rig. We'll just do a wait for child armor. And then when the player, we need the player service. So this is game.players. And then when a player is added, we are going to connect that to an anonymous function player. And then when the player is added, then the character will be added. So let's do player dot. Ooh, how about character appearance loaded? Because we want to make sure they're actually in the world before we put the armor on them. So character appearance loaded fires, and then we'll do a connect function, and then char will get passed in. That's the character itself. Then what we can do is we can clone that armor up there. So if like 5 people enter the game, they all get the armor. I mean, we don't have to do that for a test, but I like to do it that way. So we'll just do, how about armor clone will be the armor clone. It doesn't get much easier than that, right? And now we're going to check to see if our attachment is named correctly, because we'll need to get the humanoid from the character, which is going to be easy enough, right? Char, wait for child, humanoid. And then on the humanoid, we'll just do hum : we need an add. Oh, it doesn't give us help on that one too. Add accessory. Man, that's not an easy word either. And then we're going to get the armor clone. That should pop that on the player just right. Right? So let's go ahead and hit play. And there we go. All right. So looks like he's got a lot of radios behind him and whatever this stuff here is. You know what? We could actually make that a little bigger. I can kind of see through that. I have a feeling that's the front. Anyway, you guys know, right? You guys can just rotate it. Cool. Let's go ahead and stop it. And then we'll continue on. Now this doesn't really have any armor properties yet. And I think I'm going to make this a little bigger though, right? Where's our rig? There's the armor. There's the handle. And I'm just going to pop this out this way a little bit because I could see his shirt when I was playing it. That should work. Now on the armor itself, I am going to hit the plus and then add how about a number value? This is going to be my armor rating, right? Say armor rating. And 0 is no armor properties whatsoever. 1 will be 100% protection, right? So it'll be like a percentage, but a decimal percentage. So here in value on armor rating, let's make this armor, how about 0.7 or 0.7? The 0 is easier to see, right? 0.7. And it still doesn't really have any rating properties. We got to write the code to do that. We're going to have to do that in our weapon. So let's scroll on down here. And we have in our starter pack a simple pistol. Well, this one's a little less simple than most, but still pretty simple, right? We got our shoot right here. And then we got our damage, right? There's a little remote event that has them talking back and forth. Now this right here, oh, I have assists and stuff here. I'm going to shrink these tag humanoid stuff in case you're using the simple pistol. We're not going to need these, right? We're not going to need these. Although this is probably going to expand out when I go to add something. All right. What we are going to need is a raycast function, right? So maybe above shoot, I'm going to make a function for raycasting. We'll say local function. Let's call it cast ray. And what are we going to do? Let's pass the player in who actually shot the pistol. We're going to pass the hit. We're going to pass the origin where it came from. And what else? How about direction with length? Cool. We're going to need some parameters up top in order to implement this cast ray. Let's go up here. And under your variable list, however many variables you have there, depending on where you got, if you got the simple pistol or this one from the game, let's just go ahead and make a range for your pistol, right? So range, we'll say 100 studs. And then we're going to need a filter table for our raycast. So I'll say filter table, and that's going to be an empty table. And now we're going to need parameters, raycast parameters. I'll call them params, right? And then we'll do our raycast parameters.new. Cool. And you could do a random number generator too if you want the armor to be variable, but I'm just going to do it fixed for simplicity. All right, now that's cool. We don't have our cast ray yet. We do have to call this though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the on shoot stuff inside that function. It's going to be more confusing to try and just repair it than it is to write it from scratch. So I'm going to say local char equals, and now you can get the character from the tool or from the player. So we got player, and then let's just do player.character, right? And if the char, then let's see if we get the humanoid root part. Let's do that one first. We're going to need some positioning for our raycast. So we'll get the HRP from the char, find first child humanoid root part. Cool. And then let's get the humanoid. Let's check to make sure he's not dead when we go to do stuff, right? So we'll do char find first child humanoid. All right. And then if the HRP exists, the humanoid root part, and the humanoid exists, and the humanoid dot health, a couple extra checks here, it's greater than 0, then we're going to cast array, right? But we want to clear out our filter table. So let's get our filter table, and then if there's anything in it, there we go. All right, now what else? Now, let's go ahead and get a table dot insert, and then we're going to insert into our filter table the char, right? Because we don't want to hit ourselves with the ray. Well, at least I don't. You could play around with that if you want to do that. Yeah, let's see what we got. Let's do, we have our params, right? So we have to filter descendant instances. Well, since our char is in there, if our hand or our foot or whatever gets in the way, we're going to filter that out. We don't want to catch our own stuff. So that is going to be equal to the filter table. So whatever we put in that filter table, the descendants of that instance is going to be filtered out. And what type of filtering do we want to do? Filtered in or filtered out, right? I keep saying filtered out, but you could do it either way. We have a filter type. We'll do enum.raycast filter type, and then it used to be blacklist. Now it's exclude, right? Blacklist still works, but this is the newer one. And we're going to need the origin of the ray, right? So let's do local origin. Well, how about we just do the script dot parent dot handle position of the pistol. That's a pretty good starting point of the array. You could do it from your character, which means I might not have even needed that humanoid root part. Yeah, it's all right. All right, let's do a local, and then we'll go to dir. What direction? What direction? Well, we're going to get the hit where we clicked. Right, we got the hit. Let's pass hit in here. Right, so this only has player and target. I want to get the hit. Right, the C frame of whatever we clicked on in our shoot. Right, so let's go to the local script shoot. Right, and all these pistols should be very, very, very similar. I don't vary my pistol stuff much. Right, so we have on activate the mouse target. So the player gets passed in automatically because this is client-side remote event firing to the server. The target was the second, and then we'll do, let's see, mouse hit. How about that? And then let's come over here. Where is, you know what, I'm getting lost. Let's do this, damage. That hit should be the same. All right, now we're going to need the position from that hit, right? So we'll do hit.position, and then we'll subtract that from the origin, and we're going to get a unit vector to make it of length 1, right? We only want direction. We don't want the magnitude of the vector. And then when we cast our ray, we'll have our player, we'll have our hit, we'll have our origin, and then we're going to do the direction unit vector. Oh, we don't have to do dot unit here. And then times the range. How's that? Huh. That's pretty good. We should do a test though. We did a lot of typing in here. Let's go up and let's just print. Let's just print player cast ray. All right, that's going to happen when we shoot. Oh, we got to do our bang too. We could do that right here, right after the raycast. If you have a bang sound, right? This one has a bang. Up here, bang. On the handle, it's got a sound. So we could play it. And I think I'm only going to play it if I'm not dead, right? So I'm not going to be able to shoot while I'm dead. I'll do bang and then play. All right, let's try this out. Let's hit the play. Make sure we don't have any errors. There's a lot of coding there, right? It's not going to do anything, but everything's all set up. We just got to cast that ray. Pull this out. Boom. Player casts the ray. All right, we got it, right? No red or blue or any funny colors indicating a problem. How's that armor fitting? We can make that even a little thicker. How's it look on this guy? Yeah, I thought I made it thicker. There's kind of a gap. I might move it a little bit, but you know what? Just for the interest of the video, we'll keep it going. We'll just assume it's fitting really well. All right, nice. Let's go back inside our damage script right here, and then complete our cast ray, or at least get it further along. All right, so I got rid of that print statement. Let's do a local, and then we'll say result equals workspace : raycast. We are going to have the origin. Remember, we pass that origin in. We have the direction with length, and then we're going to pass in the parameters. Let's hit escape here so you can see it. So you see I passed all that in there, right down here, right? Cool. Now what? Well, we're going to cast array. We're going to see if we got a result. Did we go out to space? Did we hit anything interesting? Let's get our result. If result, then we'll say local target equals result. And you got a bunch of things you can grab, right? You got the position where you hit something. You got the instance. You got the material of the instance. And then the normal vector sticking out. If you took linear algebra or Calc 3, you know what the normal vector is. But we're not going to use that, so don't worry about it if you don't. I'll be like, oh, man, I don't know what a normal vector is. All right, so we're going to get the instance that we hit. We'll say if target, right? We'll check to make sure we hit something. And we could be extra special safe and say if target and target dot parent exist. All right, that way we hit something, it exists, and the parent exists. And we'll say if target dot parent, how about is a accessory. Because don't forget, not just our armor is going to be accessories and stuff. We're going to have like hats and hair and other things that aren't going to be armor. So for now, let's just parse that stuff out. Let's say if it's an accessory, we are going to insert that accessory into our filter table, right? And don't forget, it's cleared out every time we shoot. So we're going to put that in the filter table, the target, and then it'll be a handle if it's an accessory, right? The parent will be the type of accessory. And then we'll do, how about params, filter descendant instances, reset this. If you know anything about pass by parameter and pass by value, you would think that updating the filter table, you wouldn't have to reset it. But sometimes you do. You never know what's going to happen in another Roblox update, right? And then what we do, now that we got a new filter table, let's return the results of recasting the array, right? So we have some recursion going on here, right? It could be infinite if we're not careful. So we got the player, the hit, the origin, and the direction with length. But now there is a new filter table with this in here, right? And maybe we could print out what we got, right? Should we do that? Let's do that. Let's say, how about print target equals, I know we'll do target.name. And then let's see what that'd probably be a handle, right? So let's see what it belongs to. We'll say, how about target.parent, which would be the thing. Well, we'll just say the thing, right? It's going to be the messy hair, the hat, or whatever. That's going to be the target.parent.name. Shall I put that on 2 lines so that you can see it? Oh, man. That IntelliSense gets a little bit too much sometimes. All right, that's that way we can print it out. So it's going to cast it again, but now with whatever this is in the filter table, it's going to come through here. Second time around, what we want to do is we want to put an else here, right? Because now we went through it. Oh man, else. There we go. All right, so else. Let's check to see if we got a humanoid, right? So hum. If the target.parent of this round, it went through the hat or whatever, and it hit something else, it might have hit the head, it might have hit the chest, whatever. So if the parent of the head or the chest or the foot or whatever is a humanoid, I think I'm going to move this to the side a little bit so we have a little more room too. Yeah, that works. Cool. If it is a humanoid, then we could do, if you have the untag and tag humanoid stuff, you could do that here. Untag humanoid. If you don't, just don't put them in there, right? Right. If it's the simple pistol, you're not going to have the tag humanoid and untag humanoid, right? It's all right though. It's going to work fine for armor. That's just for crediting kills, right? And then we'll do the hum. How about take damage? Hum take damage. And now whatever your damage is, I think I have a damage value here, right? I do. In my configuration, I have a damage value up here, right? Gun configuration damage. If you don't have that, you can put like 25 in there or something like that. That's pretty good. Now, we should be able to shoot through the hats and the hair and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and try that because we couldn't do that before. All right, we'll hit shoot. How is my thing? Oh, that's right. I didn't adjust it again. Let's see. We'll go here. All right, we're going to go through the armor, see if we can detect it. Boom. All right. The target was the handle. The thing is the armor. Cool. Now we know we can differentiate armor. Let's go here. This should be like either the hat or the messy hair. It's the messy hair, right? And it went through and it hurt him. If I go above his head and hit his hat, it shouldn't hurt him. Yeah, it should pass right through. So the target, the first target, was the cowboy hat, and then it hit the messy hair, but it went above his head, so it didn't get him. Cool. That's pretty good. So we have a good pistol with ray casting. If something's in the way, like a wall, you can't shoot around the wall like you used to. Let's try that out real quick. Let's just turn this off, and then let's put a wall here and make it simple, just to make sure nothing weird's going on. Right, now you have ray casting, so people can hide. Play it again. We're going to go around that wall. Right, there's a wall in between me and him. Yep. I clicked on the left lower arm, but I didn't get him, right? The ray blocked me. If I come over here, I can. Sweet. All right, now let's implement that. Let's implement the armor part. All right, we're getting pretty sophisticated here. Let's go ahead and close this. And we'll go back to our damage script. Almost done. Now, in our cast ray, come up here, we'll come down and we got a target. If it's an accessory, well, some accessories are going to be like hats and hair and things like that. Things that won't have armor. Some are going to have armor rating. So let's go down after we put stuff in the filter table. Even if it's armor, we're going to filter on it, right? And then we're just going to do an adjustment if it is armor. How do we tell if it's armor? Well, we put that little number value on the accessory. So let's look for that. Right under this filter descendant instances, let me put a space here and a space there so it's easier to see. And then we'll do local, how about armor rating equals target dot parent colon find first child armor rating. Did I spell that right? Oh, I did not. Armor rating. Make sure you spell it right. And let's go take a look, right? We got here's our armor. That's the handle. That's the thing we're going to hit. We go up to the parent. Oh, that's an accessory. We go down here, armor rating, right? Just to make sure, I'm going to do a Control C, Control V. Yeah, it was spelled right. All right, so some things don't have armor rating, right? Some things aren't going to be armor. So let's do, I just hit enter and then it kind of jumped there. So go back to your armor rating thing. We'll do if armor rating, this is armor, right? We can do a damage adjustment, right? Let's call it a damage adjustment, damage multiplier, however you want to say it. I'll just do damage ADJ, and I think I'm going to do, how about a minus equals what our armor rating value was. Now, this right here is red. What I want to do is when I cast the ray, I want to have this last parameter in my cast ray as damage adjust. Damage adjust, right? And then when I come through here, I want to pass the new damage adjust. So then when it comes through again, and that armor is in the filter table and no longer available for the ray cast, we still have this modified. So the next time it comes through, we are going to get the damage dot value times the damage adjust. One more place we got to change it though, right? When we actually do the shoot, right here, we need our damage adjust. And what I think we need to do is pass in a 1, right? That is an unmodified damage, the adjustment of 1, because it's a multiplier. Multiply, it's identity, right? Identity operator. If you multiply the damage value by 1, you get exactly the damage value. But if you start subtracting off whatever portion of the rating value to the damage adjustment during that cycle of going through things, that's going to modify. That's going to modify how much damage you take. Let's try it out. Let's see what we got. We're going to go to our game, and now we'll hit play. Check to see if our armor is working. View, output, right? There's our pistol. Gonna shoot him in the back. Boom, look at that. Not very much damage there. And we hit the armor. What happens if we shoot him in the hand? That's a bigger jump. We should have printed out the values. What about the hat, right? The messy hair. How about that? Boom, look at that. Messy hair, but no adjustment. It was still about 25 points. If we go above the messy, like just barely hitting the hat and the messy hair, but missing his head, what happens? Aha, the damage didn't go down, but the old town cowboy hat was put in the filter list. It fired off the ray. It found the messy hair. It fired off the ray again. It did not hit the head, so it didn't damage the humanoid. This is working pretty good. Oh, you know what? Oh, we have that little gap in the front. So if you have a gap right here, check to make sure that you are in fact hitting the armor. If not, you just have to make that armor a little bigger. Oh, and it did hit it, right? Target armor. So we're good to go. For a production game, though, I would make that armor fit a little bit better. All right.